write a message to Udit that we are going live so he can start watch parties.
Okay.
All right, we're live. And we're live on Zoom as well. Okay, so hello AB for a second time. This will be again really insightful and amazing. I'm pretty sure because yesterday it was quite eye-opening, at least for me, and I bet for other people as well, because we showed everybody what's wrong with current marketing reporting game, and how people and marketing agency owners are actually losing a lot of time and money when it comes to reporting to their clients. And in this webinar, which is second webinar in our 4-part webinar series, we'll be talking about how to transform your reporting game and how to grow your agency. So AB, I believe you prepared some kick-ass presentation as yesterday, did you?
Okay. Hey, thanks, Jakub. I mean, I hope everyone's having a great Friday. I think everybody's prepped up on the Friday and gearing up for the weekend. So let me leave you with this quick thing. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, you can share your screen. Thank you.
Okay.
I see some people are joining. Nice to see you here, all guys. If you have questions, please let us know in the chat, and we'll be answering them throughout the webinar as usual. So amazing to see you here, Noam, Viet. All right, AB, let's dive into it.
Right. So can you see my screen, Jakub?
Yep.
Okay. So today's topic, guys, is yesterday we talked a lot about the problems, and we gave some key data points on how these actually problems are actually getting magnified. So today we'll talk a little bit about how to actually go about solving them. How do you actually transform your reporting and actually grow up your agency? So without further ado, I mean, let me first dive right into the problem. How do you actually go about growing your client's business first? Because I think once you grow your client's business, it's natural that your business or your agency's business is bound to grow. So how do you go about doing that? So I think this is a simple 3-step process. I think the first thing that you have to do is identify the key KPIs of your client, and then run campaigns which address these specific KPIs, and last but not the least, present them in a beautiful way. These are the 3-step mantra in order to step up your reporting game and grow your agency. I hear a little bit of an echo, Jakub.
What was that? I lost your signal for like 3 seconds now.
Okay.
What did you ask? I lost your signal.
Right. I just heard an echo, so I thought just
right.
tell you. Okay. So, guys, I mean, so that's the first rule of how not. I mean, the first rule is spend less time on copy pasting. So there's a lot of metrics from social media, from email marketing, from search, from analytics that are actually important to report. And then for agencies with multiple clients, this is you have to be able to handle them on a weekly or a fortnightly or a monthly basis. So this again is a big exercise for you guys. And the most important thing to remember here is don't fall into this trap of, hey, I can manage this. I can manage this time. I probably can manage this another time. I probably can manage this one more time. This is not going to help you guys. So it's important that you make sure that you don't fall into this trap of I can manage this, and you have to make sure that you don't get into this copy pasting part, which is probably the most important reason why you are not growing your agency. And let me prove it to you with data. Again, this is a research report done by WordStream. So they've asked agencies on how much time do agencies actually spend on reporting per client. Again, if you look at this, I mean, this is astounding. I mean, again, you remember this 1 hour per week and above is 93%. And we're talking about, guys, I mean, we're talking about per client per week. This is not like, just do it 1 hour in a month. This is per client per week. So the numbers don't lie. And agencies are getting bogged down with reporting, where their core focus is actually growing their client's business. So if you're on the lucky 6.4% who actually don't do reporting, I think you've got your life sorted. I think you're probably one of those lucky people out there who've got their life sorted.
How
So I
does it
hope.
work? How you cannot not report to your clients, really?
I don't know, but I think it looks like those 6.4% have got it all figured out in their life. So yeah, I mean, let's kudos to them that they've got it all figured out. So the next thing, again, this is the research report. Again, this is not something that GreyMetrics or PitchGround is saying that hey, you're spending this much time. This is done by a third party. This is done by a credible source. It's coming from a credible partner here.
Mm-hmm.
Rule number 2, guys. I mean, it's very important to identify key KPIs for each client. Again, this is very important because a KPI for a local business would be a little different from an e-commerce business, and a KPI for a startup would be different from an e-commerce business. So each business has their own KPIs. It's important to identify the key KPIs for that business. That's the most important thing. And see, these important KPIs are, again, these KPIs will move the needle, and in turn, these will actually generate the revenue the revenue or leads for your clients. So it's important to identify first hand on what these key KPIs are. So let me take you this one again. Let me talk about some specific needs here. Like, let's say you have a local business, and then not every local business's KPIs are going to be the same. Some may need to have more calls, some may be looking for more walk-ins, some may be looking for getting found on Google Maps, some may be looking for just brand awareness. I mean, for a local business, there are multiple different needs, and their KPIs could change based on what they are trying to achieve at that point. Similarly, I mean, if you are into a consulting or a services business, like if you are an agency, again, at different points of your agency, you will have different needs. One of the biggest needs that you'll probably have is, how to generate more leads. Sometimes you would probably want to just generate a lot of brand awareness if you're targeting a big client. And if I mean, and at times you would just want to bump up the traffic in order to get a lot of audience that you can actually remarket to. Again, if you look at all of these scenarios, you have different needs, different KPIs based on different times that you're actually trying to achieve different goals. So it's the same with e-commerce companies too. It's some look for sales, some look for repeat orders, some are looking for upsells. Again, the KPIs change based on even though it is the same business, depending on the need, the KPIs change. Again, I mean, because there's so many different variations in this, I think it would be prudent to not approach this problem as, hey, I just prepare like one thing and it just fits for everyone. I think that's the key mistake that most marketers make. I think don't try to approach this as one size will fit everyone. So that's the key message here, guys. Hey, Jakub, I mean, you had something to say?
These KPIs are usually set with client, correct?
Right. Most likely. Most likely.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a client who's not very clear on their KPIs and who's very new to the marketing game, typically, so the agency would typically go ahead and suggest the right KPIs for that client. It depends on the maturity of the client at that level, and I think generally the agencies work with the clients to set up the KPIs that they want to track, and they kind of track it progressively.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Right. So these are the most commonly tracked KPIs that we've seen. One of the most commonly ones, I mean, the conversion rate. I mean, how many people? So this conversion can vary based on different businesses' needs at that time. I mean, it could be like downloading an ebook. It could be generating a lead. It could be generating a purchase. Again, you'll have to analyze how many people visited your website and how many resulted in those conversions. It could be sales, could be a download, could be visiting a key page, or just filling up a form.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these, but this is an important KPI that most businesses track: conversion rate. Again, if you are an e-com business, or if you have something, set up on your Google Analytics, like enhanced e-commerce, where you are tracking dollars for the sales that you're doing. or if you have a store like Shopify or WooCommerce, you would be interested in tracking all the sales. So this is again an important KPI. Again, not to be looked at independently from other KPIs, but yeah, this happens to be one of the important KPIs if you are in that kind of a business. Okay.
I think it all boils down to if client approaches you with some specific issue, with some specific problem, I don't know, I want to increase sales of this product. So I think KPI
Right.
should be really tailored to this specific thing, right? You won't be measuring things not related to that. So yeah, okay.
Cool. And the other most commonly tracked KPI is cost per click. I mean, this is a very basic indicator for most agencies that, hey, if I have to scale this down to a 10x level or a 20x level, what's it going to cost me? I mean, what's the baseline? Where am I starting at? If I'm starting at a very low level, it just gives agencies a comfort zone that, hey, here's where we're starting. And then, if we just increase our budgets by 2x or 3x or 5x or 10x, this is where we could actually reach. So cost per click typically gives a very easy indicator right in the beginning. So that's about the most commonly tracked KPIs out there. Okay, so now I mean let's tackle this right away. So because there's data flowing everywhere now, there's like metrics, there's KPIs, there's different needs of your clients coming into the picture and all. And like we discussed, I mean, 93% of the agencies are actually spending more than an hour per client per week to report. So it's very prudent and important that we kind of think about automation right from the word get go. So I think when it comes to marketing reporting, I think there are like four different aspects of it. First is you'll have to first collect the data. That's the point number one.
Mm-hmm.
Second is you'll have to be able to streamline the data and format it, because every data is different and you'll have to put it in one place. That's the second one. And then you'll have to unify all the data. And the fourth thing is actually reporting this data in a way that actually presents what you've actually done. So these are the four key steps that you'll have to remember when you're trying to automate your marketing reporting. So again, I mean, when you come to automating, again, you have to identify the most important copy paste tasks, and you'll have to identify which one of these is actually taking more time. Is it collecting the data? Is it streamlining the data and formatting it? Is it unifying the data, or is it actually presenting the data to the client? So,
do you have some specific tip how we can identify these tasks?
Hey, every agency actually does it a little differently. I mean, everybody has their own mechanism. This is actually part of the problem. I mean, because everybody does it differently, and in the end, it results in a completely different output than what the agency actually wants. Just imagine. I mean, I think should they actually even do it? That's the first question. So, I mean, if you ask me, they shouldn't be doing it, because they've done all the hard work. They've got the results for their clients. This should be a natural extension of their work, which shouldn't actually cost them their time. Because,
Okay.
yeah, their time is money, right?
That's correct.
Right. So the idea of trying to identify one piece and trying to address that part wouldn't actually result in a wholesome solution. The idea is to try to take it like all the four parts at once and try to solve it at one go. That's the whole idea that we're trying to address here. Again, if you identify most of the copy paste tasks and try to automate, again, ideally, if you ask me, you'll have to try to automate, or you'll have to try to address all of them at one go. And that's where you'd have more time for actually analyzing your data, because that's the most important thing that you'd have to do in order to actually get better results for your clients, and in order to be able to explain that better to your clients. So that's one. Again, what most agencies typically don't do today is actually use this data analysis as a competitive advantage in the market. So when you're competing in you're competing in a very competitive market, and you will have to differentiate yourself as an agency too in this market. So how do you do it? I mean, there are many ways of doing it, and more often than not, agencies can use this data analysis as one big competitive advantage to upsell, or to get more revenue from their clients. Hey, here's a micro, Ekop. I mean,
Still, do you still hear echo?
It seems to be on and off.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what is happening. Maybe it's a
No
Zoom
problem.
thing.
Hey, no problem. Let me just move on. Again, we talked about this yesterday. We talked about the amount of time that it takes. Again, now you understand where this data is actually coming from. This data is not a guesswork. This data is actually coming from analysis that, if you had these many clients, again, you can clearly understand that, the number that I've actually put across as 3 hours is actually vastly underrated. I mean, you see that 94% of the agencies, I mean, again, if you are one of those 6.4% of the agencies who do not have to do reporting, this doesn't apply to you at all. But if you are in the vast majority of the 94% of the agencies who have to actually do reporting and who actually spend more than an hour per client per week, then this is actually for you. Just look at the numbers out here, and I think you will understand a lot of money is on the table. And like we discussed, there are 4 tasks of it: collecting, streamlining, then unifying, and then reporting. We don't want to do all of that manual task, and this is the money that you're putting it on the table, and this could be saved if you actually do this right. So again, these numbers are coming from research. Yeah. Hey, Jakub. I mean, go ahead.
Do you hear me now? Because
Yeah.
there are some technical issues. I don't know what is happening. But yeah, I was just doing some things here to make it sound good again. Sorry.
Okay. Right. So, by any standard, I mean, if you just look at the numbers, I think, even if you like address like 10% of the problem, 20% of the problem, 30% of the problem, or 90 to 100% of the problem, you are in for a significant saving out there, because the numbers don't lie. I mean, the numbers are like right there for you to see. And I think every agency can just look at their own cells and just try to address where the R's are actually going. And I think they will be able to find most of these going into the black holes. I think they can start putting all those black holes on the paper and try to address this at one go. So I believe that 95% of all of this cost can actually be automated, and actually you can put all of these dollars to use, because you don't need to be actually leaving all of this money on the table. So that's my take on it.
Mhm.
So again, like I said, I mean, you're leaving a lot of dollars on the table. Every dollar that you save is every dollar that you earn.
Your
So
favorite quote, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, how many dollars do you plan to earn this month, this year, maybe in the next 5 years, in this new decade? So, guys, I mean, so this is a short presentation. I mean, about how you can actually use. I mean, what are the key problems that you typically face as an agency, and what you can actually do to try to automate most of these tasks, and try to save those dollars. Yeah, I mean, if you are in those lucky 6.4%, this does not apply to you at all. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, Yakub, I mean, if there are any questions, I mean, let's go ahead and take them.
I noticed just a couple of questions.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
Do you hear me correctly?
Say that again.
Do you hear me correctly now?
Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
I saw a question here from Mario, and Mario was asking, is this a value bomb or actual SaaS? I think it's about this webinar. And this webinar, I mean, it's a value bomb. We are sharing some incredible value. But yeah, it's actually about GreyMetrics, which is a product we are launching on next week on January 14th. And there aren't actually any more questions. At least what I noticed, there was a couple questions on Twitch, but I won't be reading them because they are not very very nice and not regarding to GreyMetrics. But there are more questions from my side I would like to ask actually.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And what I saw so far, for example, in our Facebook group and so on. So, what are the integrations people can expect in GreyMetrics? What are the platforms that you support and that we can use to like get data from and transform them into reports?
Right. So we connect to 20 plus integrations today. Most of the social media channels that you use, like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google Search Console, Google Ads, Google Analytics, email marketing platforms like Mailchimp, ActiveCampaign are available. And there's also these integrations of WooCommerce, Shopify, and Bitly is one of those requests that we've got from the community, and that's something that we've added. Uh, there are three or four integrations that are in the pipeline we are thinking of. The most important question, again, seems to be, I would like to address this question once, because I mean, most people are asking the flexibility to address Google Sheets or an Excel into the platform. This is something that we are looking at. Again, like I shared yesterday, I think we don't want to look at this problem as a Google Sheets alone problem, because this would narrow down the focus, and this wouldn't actually address the problem in the longer run. Like I said, the data is only going to increase. More and more data is going to come into the picture. So would it be wise for us to only look at a narrow set of the problem, or should we try to address this? What do you do with Google Sheets? Do you only just visualize it? Do you do it? Or do you do something else on it? Do you do any other analysis on top of it? So how can we actually address that end problem that you have with Google Sheets or Excel? So this is something that we are looking at. Again, I am getting a lot of feedback from a lot of folks out there. I think I've spoken to a few. I've understood how their reporting needs are, and I think it's helping us evolve out there. But right now, off the fly, you can expect 20 integrations off the bat. Most of the social media, Google, and email marketing and e-commerce platforms are right now available on the platform right now.
Okay. Thank you for answering. We have a couple questions here on Zoom. Question
Mhm.
from Viet. Hey, AB. So, do you find agencies are adding reporting as an extra service? I'm assuming folks are charging monthly for this reporting.
Right. Again, it depends a lot on the geography that you're working on. I think, some geographies are specifically known for adding reporting as an add-on. Typically, what I've seen is, I mean, in some parts of US and Canada, it's specifically mentioned on their website that reporting is part of a services. So in those cases, I think most agencies typically don't charge an extra fee because it's part of their retainer, and they're expected to actually show what they're actually doing. But when your retainers are slightly low, you typically go as an add-on, and you typically charge for the service too. So
What
it
approach do
depends
you
a
like
lot.
more?
Say that again.
What approach do you like more?
It depends on the client again. Some people want everything at one go. Some people want to break it down into five pieces. So I think an agency is best suited to make the decision at that point. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I'd not like to suggest that this is the best way to do it or this is the wrong way to do
I
it,
see.
because
I see.
there's a lot of context involved in making that decision. It
Mhm.
For the same agency, it may work for four clients that you actually package the same into your pricing, but for other clients you would actually be charging a little extra.
Mhm. There's a follow-up message from Viet. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Thanks. Also, any plans for adding Klaviyo integration?
Say that again.
If you are planning to add Klaviyo integration.
Clavio. Again, this is the first time that I'm hearing a request for Clavio. I think, what we generally do is, I mean, we typically any idea that comes in, we just add it to the roadmap, and we let users, try to give us feedback. And based on this feedback, I mean, the highest feedback, like I said, we've received is on Google Sheets. A
Mhm.
lot of people asking for it. So we're trying to address the problem, right? I mean, trying to address the problem a little early in the game. We're trying to see how we can address that problem early in the game. Clavio seems to be a new one. I'm not entirely sure, how many people would need it. If a lot of people need it, we're more than happy to build it for you.
Interesting.
Hey, you're muted. Um, Jacob, you've muted yourself.
Do you hear me now? Perfect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So do you have actually some system where where can people vote for these features and integrations?
Right. Yeah, this is available. I'm just going to put it. I mean, if who's asking this? May I make a note of it?
I'm asking it. There's actually no questions
Oh, yeah.
from the audience, but I know that a
Yeah.
lot of PitchGrounders want to like participate in this decision process, so that's the reason why I'm
Right.
asking.
No, there is a URL that we will give out, and users can upvote. We've shared it on the community too, on the group, and I would be sharing it with you, and you can go ahead and share with the community. And I think
Amazing.
the users would find a little more interesting uh, parts that are actually available on the roadmap.
Yes. A question from Christian: can we report on different stages in the customer journey? For example, awareness phase.
Okay, I'd like a little more context on that question because, like on the awareness, I'm assuming that this is the question. In the awareness stage, you're running a few ads in that week or month on Facebook, and then you're also running a few ads to get more traffic on Google. So these three campaigns, these two campaigns are separate. You can bring in data from these two integrations into one place, and you can report. You can call it as an awareness report. You can just rename the report as an awareness. You can put in all the metrics that you want, and you can actually do it. But if I understood that question right, I think you can do it. If you have a specific question, I think I'd love to answer that.
AB is actually amazing when it comes to talking to customers. So if you want to like more specific and in-depth answer, I highly recommend
Right.
to contacting him or writing email or something, and he will do the
Sure.
best to
May
answer.
I know the name?
We are on a chat. It's on Zoom, and the name is Christian van Meegem.
Okay, got it.
Uh, By the way, Noam, we didn't forget about your question. The question was, can you show how GreyMetrics solves these issues? So we can do a
Right.
little showcase if we want, AB. But before that, let's answer another question we have here from Noam. Does GreyMetrics integrate with Integromat and Zapier? If yes, does that include both sending data and generating reports?
Mhm. Right. So we are looking at different requests, especially on Zapier, Integromat, and SyncSpider. Uh, Again, we're trying to understand again, what exactly are you trying to achieve with that? Are you trying to just once you send a report, you just want to receive an email, or how do you want to do that? What's your typical use case with Zapier or Integromat look like? I'd like to understand that a little bit more, so that we could actually work on that. If it is actually a big problem for you.
Mhm. Okay.
So
So I believe that
right,
we.
right now it doesn't. Right now it doesn't integrate with Zapier or Integromat. If that's answers the question. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so he's following up with feed data from data sources that GreyMetrics doesn't support.
Right. Again, this falls into the same question that maybe feeds typically mean that you're probably pulling in data from Excel or pulling in data from spreadsheets. I'm assuming that this is the question. This is something that I've talked about a little bit before. We're
Mhm.
trying to see how you're actually going to use this data, and if you're going to just use the raw data and try to just visualize the data. How do we address this problem in detail is something that we're trying to discuss with each and every individual that is asking for it, and trying to build a comprehensive solution so that this solves it for you in the longer run and not in the shorter term.
It's not no, I'm saying it's not from spreadsheets, it's directly from other systems.
As
So
an
it's a
API,
system, Zapier and your and GreyMetrics.
right? I don't think so. It doesn't do that right now, and I think. I'd like to talk to you. I think if you have a specific use case, I'd like to talk to you and go a little bit more in detail. Try to understand how you're maybe it is live streaming data, or maybe it is
Mhm.
just data coming from your app or something. I'm assuming that data comes into Google Analytics or something like that. I'm just trying to understand that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to
So,
get in touch with you one on one, and I think we could take it from there.
all right. Yeah, no, I'm saying sure. Perfect.
Sure, great.
Where they can where he can contact you?
Hey, I would just drop in my meeting link, HubSpot meeting link, and I think we could just schedule a call, and I think we could take it from there, if that sounds
All
good.
right. Cool. Cool. Uh,
Okay.
and last part, do you think you can show us really fast how GreyMetrics look and solve this problem.
Right, Jakub. I mean, are you asking me to do this on the 14th, or do you want me to do that right now?
We had a request right now, and I mean, we can do it like really fast, like really quick overview, and then do in-depth, detailed overview on 14. Or what do you think? Do you propose something else?
I mean, if it's one or two people, I think I'd like to show it to you. I mean, just give me one sec. Hey, can you see my screen?
Yep, I can see your screen all the time.
So these are all the integrations. This is a demo account. It doesn't have all the integrations that we currently have. So here's what you can actually do. I mean, these are all, let's assume that all of these integrations are connected. So you can basically just choose from a few templates that we have given you. So we have built a few templates for you so that you can just start off reporting right
Oh,
away
that's
with
good.
us.
Hmm.
Again, these are reports basically that you can pick. So these are three parts combined, three different reports combined into one. And I think the data is coming through. Just give it a second. So
Hmm. So, guys, this is just a little sneak peek of what you will exactly see on 14th on the webinar, because we'll be showing you everything in depth in there. So don't forget to join.
So this is basically, I mean, all the metrics that are available on this. If I don't want to show something, I just pop here and I'll just say delete, and this goes away.
Hmm.
Hey, I want to add something from, let's say, Facebook ads or something like that. I just go here and I'll say reach by gender, and I'll just add, and this gets added out here. And this is the report. We also have, I mean, I'm just trying to make it as quick as possible so that, we save some parts of it for the 14th.
I know
So
that as a founder, you could be talking about it for hours. I can
right.
imagine.
I don't want to hijack this agenda. Again, this the same thing. I mean, you could do as a dashboard. Two different visualizations is what we are trying to provide. You saw a long multi-page report there, and this is a very simple a dashboard. Again, you can do the same things. You can just delete it. Hey, if you want to just highlight this a little bit more, you can just drag this and just make this bigger. Or you want to
Hmm.
push this up, you can just push this up. And I think this dashboard is
That's
yours.
amazing.
I think you just make it your own, basically design your own thing. And I think you can just use it the way that you want it.
Hmm.
And this is a report. You can add some notes to each widget. It just comes down here. And I think you can add your comments when you send it to your client.
That's impressive.
And that's what you can actually do.
Really proud that we will be launching GreyMetrics on Tuesday.
Okay, I'm going to
It's
stop the
amazing.
share now.
Let's stop the
Right?
share so people will join on
Right.
14. So let me quickly share my screen. So guys, this is not, of course, last webinar. We are doing two more webinars, one on Monday, and the last one is on Tuesday. On Monday, we'll be describing all the different use cases you can do with GreyMetrics, such as
Hey, you just muted yourself, Yakub.
all right.
Right. Okay.
And I don't know what is happening today with technical. I'm sorry, guys. Like this is not the case usually. And on January 14th, we are launching. So there will be a detailed walkthrough. We did a little sneak peek today. So don't forget to join on January 14th as well, because we'll launch, we'll show you how exactly all works, so you can start using it in your business. The link is greymetrics.heysummit.com or .pitchground.com, do whatever link you prefer. And you will just register, and it will take you to this landing page. The webinar series is titled Marketing Reports Reinvented, Turn a boring activity into fun experience. So guys, thanks a lot for joining. Let me check if we have some more questions. One question from Noam: is GreyMetrics only for marketing reports, or can it be used for any kinds of data-based reports? Great question, Noam. Thanks.
Right. No one. I mean, I think our initial start is focused on marketing reporting, because our integrations, if you would actually look at it, I mean, are mostly marketing driven. So, I mean, if you would otherwise, I mean, if you would just like to use just Google Analytics data and just like to add Facebook data and try to create another report, which is not marketing centric, you could do that. But right now, our focus and our integrations are very much marketing focused.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think we answered your question.
Okay.
So yeah, no answers. Thanks. So I believe we did. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for joining. Thanks a lot for all the questions. Once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties we had today. It won't be happening again on Monday. I'll make sure that it won't happen. And AB, thanks a lot for the preparation. It was again a value bomb, as Mario described it on chat on Facebook. And I'm looking forward to our next webinar on Monday.
Yep. Great, guys. I mean, have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday.
All right. In data, we
Yeah.
trust. All right.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
man.